Good morning. Namaste to each of you. Thank you for joining me this morning to honor your mind and your body and your spirit. Let's just take a moment to become present, finding a nice, comfortable seated position on a cushion or a block, towel, something that allows the back of your spine and neck to sit nice and long and tall, opening up your chest and opening up your diaphragm and opening up your heart. Let's gently close our eyes. And observe your breath as it is, soft and gentle, breathing life into you with each inhale and relaxation with each exhale. Feel the grace of being present, returning to that awareness again and again. You may open your eyes now. For this morning's intention, you may think of a positive word or phrase to have with you on your mat and perhaps carry with you throughout the day. This morning's intention I'd like to talk about is Saucha. Saucha is Sanskrit for purity, cleanliness, and clarity. It is the first of 5 Niyamas in the 8-limb path of Patanjali. And if you remember the Yamas, which we explored the last couple of weeks, are guidelines on how to relate to the outside world. And the Niyamas, the second limb of the 8-limb path, is guidelines on how to interact with yourself. So, Saucha, besides being about purity, cleanliness, and clarity, kind of to distill that whole idea, it's about removing stuff to come to the essence of something. Perhaps it's cleaning out a closet or an Ayurvedic cleanse of your insides. Or maybe it's about being clear about what no longer serves you in your head, clearing out things like bad habits and bad ideas, old ideas. Saucha begins with the intention to lighten the load we are carrying in our mind, in our body, and in our spirit. So for this morning's pranayama, kind of going along with the purification, clarity type ideas of Saucha, the pranayama we'll do this morning is the Nadi Shodhana, which is the alternate nostril breathing. So the Nadi, N-A-D-I, are the energy channels that go alongside of your spine, left and right side of your spine. But they go up and they intersect. They kind of create this coil thing at our chakras. And Shodhana means purification in Sanskrit. So it's the cleansing of these channels that are going on when we do the alternate nostril breathing technique. And it creates balance, it creates well-being. It's really one of the top pranayamas I think there is. And I think I mentioned before, I had a yoga teacher that always started every single yoga class with a session of the Nadi Shodhana. So you can, to do the alternate nostril breathing, you can use the mudra, which is called Vishnu. And it's taking your hand and bringing down the index and middle finger and leaving the thumb, the ring finger, and the pinky extended. And what you would do is place the thumb on one nostril, inhale, and then at the top of the inhale, you change fingers and bring the ring finger to that nostril you just inhaled on, and then exhale through the other nostril. Now, if that's uncomfortable, and I should mention that the Vishnu mudra is about balancing. It's a balancing mudra and also a detoxification mudra. So that, just adds a little bit more Zeus to the breathing technique. But if that's uncomfortable, you can just use, fingers back and forth, whatever works. So let's just take a few moments and do that, like my other yoga teacher. Take a few moments and do the Nadi Shodhana breathing technique. So I'll use it with that, and you go at your own pace. And the key is you're going to breathe through one nostril at the top of the breath. You'd flip your finger and exhale through the other nostril, and then inhale. And then at the top of the inhale, you'd flip your finger. So whenever you reach the top of the inhale, do a flip with your fingers. So we'll do a few moments. And we can relax now. It's also a wonderful breathing technique for anxiety if you're having panic attacks, and it just calms you. And again, the nadis go along each side of the spine, but intersect where the chakras are. So you're kind of cleansing each chakra circle as you go, and breathing from your diaphragm, from down in your belly, um, up through the diaphragm, your ribs, and then up through your chest, kind of brings that energy all the way up through the spine and through those channels. So it's a lovely breathing technique. So then we'll move on to our meditation. And in meditation, this is a quote, in meditation, we open the windows of the mind to clear consciousness. In meditation, we open the windows of the mind to clear consciousness. I just love that image that you're just kind of letting just opening and letting things be as they are, and maybe decluttering by opening the windows, opening the closet and decluttering and opening the windows and letting the air come in and just kind of cleanse the house. We took our storm windows down last week, and just to have the air come into the house and circulate, it was just very cleansing. So in our meditation, we're going to do a little bit, and there is a mudra if you'd like to use that. It's called Buddhi, Buddhi, and it improves mental clarity and enhances our connection to our intuition by decluttering the mind. So perfect spring cleaning, perfect about Saucha. And so to do Buddhi, you would bring your pinky and your thumb together and extend the 3 fingers. So you can, when we start our meditation, you can rest that on your knees and have that. If you like an affirmation to work with during your meditation, here's one that has a Saucha background to it. And it goes, by creating order around me, I invite clarity and gratitude within. By creating order around me, I invite clarity and gratitude within. We'll just take a few moments to meditate, and I'll meet you on the mat. Alrighty, we will start our asana practice now. And we'll start with our regular sun breath and chest opener. So bringing our fingertips to the side, we'll just inhale, bringing our hands up slowly, nice, big, deep inhales. And palms come together, and exhale, bringing them down to your heart center. And then inhale, opening them up, opening your chest, opening your heart, opening that window. And then closing them back. And then inhale up. And exhale down. And we'll do a couple more of these. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, up. And exhale down. And one last time. Inhale, up. Exhale down. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Inhale, up. And exhale down. And then we'll do a few seated side stretches. So we're going to bring our right fingertips to the mat. Bring our left arm up along the side of our ear. And then bend the right elbow toward the mat. Tilting our body over to the right. Ooh, I just heard a nice pop. And then bringing our arm back up straight. We'll let's just do a few each side. So again, fingertips, right hand, bending the right elbow down toward the mat. Keep our left arm up alongside our ear. And then coming back up again. And one last time. Fingertips, elbow comes down toward the mat. And we'll tilt over to the right, maybe a little further down. And then coming back up. And then we'll switch arms, bringing the left fingertips to the mat. Straightening out our posture, making sure that we're not bending forward, just kind of having that nice straight spine. Bringing the right arm up alongside of the ear. And then bending the left elbow down toward the mat. And then back up again. And then we'll do that again 2 more times. Slowly guiding that elbow down toward the mat, tipping over to the side, trying to keep breathing. And then back up again. And one last time. Reach out maybe a little further, guiding your elbow a little deeper down toward the mat. And then back up. Well done. And we'll uncross our legs if they are crossed, placing the feet side by side. And we'll gently walk our hands forward. And we're going to pivot at the hips, or at the waist rather. And just go out as far as your hands comfortably reach. And you can stay here, or you can try to guide your elbows down toward the mat, or in my case, the floor. And just send nice, deep, nourishing breaths to any place that might feel some tension. A few real deep inhales and exhales here. And we'll lift our elbows up and walk our hands back. Coming back to a nice straight spine, and then switching legs, so the opposite foot's resting alongside on the outer edge. And we'll do that again. You'll probably notice some difference in how far you can come down. And walking our hands out to the point where it's comfortable. pivoting at the waist, and then sending our elbows down toward the mat. Nice deep inhales and exhales, sending that nourishing breath, any tension you may feel. And then lifting the elbows up and walking the hands back. Then we'll roll down on the mat, and you choose your method of rolling down, knees bent, knees straight, tuck under for express method. I'm just going to kind of keep my knees bent. I like feeling that connection of each vertebra as I land on the mat. And then we'll bring our knees to our chest and give them a nice hug. And rock back and forth, giving that lower back a nice massage. And if you like, you can create some nice big circles going one way. And then when you want to reverse, go right ahead. And then we'll put our feet on the mat and send the feet down to the bottom of the mat, coming into reclined mountain pose. Toes are nice, flexed up to the sky. So mountain pose. The recline is an active pose. It's not Shavasana. So we'll slide the sole of the right foot up along the left leg to the point where it reaches the left knee. And our legs create this figure four. And then we'll place the right ankle on top of the left leg, right above the kneecap. And then slide the left foot up. And then lift the left foot up to the sky, flexing both toes up to the sky. And I was reminded this week, I took a yoga class that online that if you have problems with your knees, flexing your toes helps to mitigate the stress on your knees. So just kind of bear that in mind too. So flexing is a good thing. We'll just kind of keep this here. You can interlace your hands behind your thigh, or what I'm going to do today is pull on my left leg toward my chest as I push with my right foot back. So I'm going to create like a resistance. And just take a few deep breaths here. Okay, and then we'll set the left foot down on the mat, sliding it all the way down, keeping the right foot in the leg. And then we'll take the right knee with our left hand, kind of guide it over to the left side of the mat, creating a nice gentle twist in our spine. And then bringing that leg back, and slide the right leg all the way down to the bottom of the mat too. And we're going to lift the right leg then up to the sky and point the toes and then flex the toes. And if you'd like, you could either bend your left knee or you can tuck your hands underneath your hips, your tuchus there, and that might support your lower back a little bit better. So again, right leg up, we're going to point and then flex, point, flex on the exhale, point, inhale, flex, exhale, point, inhale, flex, exhale, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, and flex. Then we'll bring both knees to our chest and give a nice hug. And then we'll lower our feet to the mat and slide them all the way down again to reclined mountain pose. We'll do that all on the other side. So sliding the left sole of your foot up your leg, creating that figure four with your legs. And then we'll take the left ankle, place it on top of the right leg, and slide the right foot up. And then lift the right foot up, flexing the toes up to the sky. And again, you can try that resistance position or interlace your fingers behind your thigh. Your choice. We'll just stay here for a moment while we breathe. Push me, pull you. Lama. Alrighty, then we'll set our right foot on the mat, slide it all the way down, taking our right hand and placing on the left knee and guiding that knee to the right side of the mat. And then bringing that knee and the leg back down to the mat. And again, you can have your both legs down, or in this case will be the right leg bent as we lift the left leg, or tucking your hands underneath. Your choice. And we'll send the left leg up to the sky and point our toes and flex our toes. Point, flex, 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 point, and flex. And I'll bring both knees to the chest. Give them a nice hug. And then we're going to roll up to tabletop. So you can either tip over the side and come up to tabletop, or roll up and cross over, coming into tabletop. Alrighty. Wrists are right below our shoulders. Fingers are spread out nice, kind of softly gripping the mat. Pushing weight into our hands, create that nice distance between our shoulders and our ears. Knees are right below the hips. Navel's tucked to the spine. And then gently turning our head to the right. We'll do some head turns, and then come back to center and over to the left. And then back to center, and you can go at your own pace. And I would just suggest doing it a little slowly, slower than you might imagine. Or get that pinched nerve in your neck, and it's not a pleasant thing. So by gently loosening everything up, hopefully kind of prevent that from happening. And then bringing your head back to center, we'll go into cat-cow. So again, dropping your head down, tailbone down, rounding your back for cat, really stretching it out. And then lifting your head and tailbone up, sending your gaze straight ahead, out into the world. And then rounding your back again on the exhale for cat. Lifting your head and tailbone up, sending your gaze straight out. And then just continue at your own pace, inhaling and exhaling as you go. This is kind of the meditative part of yoga. When you get into these inhaling, exhaling, specific moves, and it just kind of clears your mind, clears out all of that rattling around that goes on in your head, and you just kind of get into the movement and into the breath. All right, and then we'll come back to tabletop, setting our knees out to the edges of the mat, bringing the big toes together. We'll lower our hips down toward the ankles, sending the arms straight ahead for wide-legged child pose. And then we'll just kind of walk our hands, use that crab-like feet effect of walking your hands over to the left side. And we'll just stretch out until you feel that nice stretch along the right side of your body. And then we'll walk our hands back to center. A little creepy crab movement going on here. And then we'll walk them over to the right side until you feel that nice stretch on the left side of your body. And then we'll walk them back to center. Alrighty. Come back to tabletop. We'll tuck our toes under, walk our hands back, coming up on our toes to a squat, and then pushing down, coming up into mountain pose. And then we'll point our big toes straight ahead, straight edge of the mat. And then lift our toes up off the mat, spreading them apart as far as we can. And then bringing them back down to the mat, lifting our heels off the mat, and then bringing our heels down. And just close your eyes for a second. Feel that connection to the earth. Again, I suggest to us Vermonters that we now are able to walk around outside barefoot in the grass. Oh, it's that time of year to really connect with the earth. Okay, and then essentials of good posture, part of mountain pose. So our legs are nice and straight and strong, gentle flex in the knees, navel's tucked to the spine, creating a nice long back of our neck, nice and straight and tall. Shoulders are gently rolled back. Chin is tucked back slightly. Again, create that nice long line on the spine. And then the crown of our head is reaching up toward the sky. And then we'll sweep our hands up overhead with a big inhale. And exhale, bringing our hands down to the mat, bending our knees as we go to protect our lower back. And then bring our hands to our shin for half forward fold. Nice flat back, back of your neck's nice and straight. Gaze is down. And then dropping the crown of our head down toward the mat. We'll just let our hands dangle here for a moment. We feel gravity take over our pose. Connecting us to the earth with its magnetic powers. Then we'll sweep our hands all the way up overhead again. And as we bring them up overhead, we're going to come up onto our tippy toes. And then keep reaching, keep stretching. You come up onto your tippy toes as far up as you can. And then slowly lowering our hands back down, bringing our heels back down to earth. And then we'll do that 2 more times. So sweeping our hands up and overhead, coming up onto our tippy toes, stretching our hands up to the sky. And then slowly lowering our hands back down. Lowering our heels back down. And then one last time, sweeping our hands all the way up, 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 as our heels go up. And then slowly coming back down with control. And we'll bring our hands all the way down to the mat, bending our knees as we go. Inhaling, bring our hands to our shins, nice flat back of half forward fold. Sending the crown of our head down toward the mat. And then sweeping our hands all the way up overhead again. We'll bring our hands up, and then we'll bring our hands out in front of us at shoulder height. We're going to do a few of the 180s. So we're going to create a semicircle we'll start with the right hand, bringing it around back. And as we do, we're going to bring the left fingertips to our right shoulder. And as we bring our hand back, our right hand, we're going to follow our hand with our gaze. So we're creating a nice twist here. So we'll follow our fingertips back with our eyes, extending our left hand so that they join out in front. And then we'll do that on the left side. So creating that semicircle, following our left fingertips with our eyes, placing the right fingertips on our left shoulder. And then we'll bring everything back to the front. And following your hand with your eyes. We'll do one more time on each side. So bringing the right hand all the way back. And then bringing those fingertips back to the front. And on the left hand, we'll send that on its journey. We'll follow it with our eyes. And then coming back, bringing the fingertips back to front. Back to front. All right, lifting our hands up to the sky, and then we'll bring both hands down to the mat again, bending our knees as we go. And lifting our hands to our shins, nice flat back for half forward fold. Sending the crown of our head down toward the mat. And then sweeping our hands all the way up overhead again. This time we're going to bring our palms together overhead and then bring them down to heart center. We're going to do a few leg lifts. So I'm going to plant my left foot in the mat and lift my right leg up. So as though I'm sitting in a chair. And then I'm going to take my right hand, keeping my left at my heart center to kind of help balance. And I'm going to take that right leg and bring it over to the side. And then back again to the front. And tip over. All right, we'll do that on the other side. So bringing our hands to heart center onto the mudra. Lift the left leg up. And then take the left hand and guide the left leg over to the side. Finding that drishti. And then bringing it back. A little bit better on that side. And then setting it down. Okay, and then sweeping our hands up with a big inhale. And then back down to the mat. Bending our knees as we go. Inhale, bringing the hands to the shin. Nice flat back for half forward fold. And then sending the crown of the head down toward the mat. And sweeping our hands all the way up overhead again. Palms come together. And palms come to heart center. And then palms come to the back of the hips. Or supported back bend. So feet are about hip width apart. Palms are resting nicely on your hips. Shoulders are relaxed. Roll back. Chin is tucked toward the chest. And we'll just drop our shoulders back. Till we find that nice sweet spot, effort and relaxation. And we can still hear the nice, smooth, strong inflow and outflow of our breath. And then we'll come back. All right. Moving right along. All right. And we're going to start doing some, what I call the mindful placement of the feet. So it's lifting, and we'll start with the right leg, lifting the right leg up, and then just setting it back behind us. And then rolling down the foot to the point where your foot's firmly placed on the mat. Follow your foot and the heel. That would create a bend in the opposite leg. So you're in kind of a mini lunge position. And then we're going to come back to mountain pose and do that again. And setting it back just a touch further. Rolling down the right foot. It's going to create even a deeper bend in the left leg. And then we'll come back to mountain pose. And this time extend it as far back as you possibly can. And then we're going to pivot and come into wide-legged stance. Sneaky, huh? So we're going to have our toes pointing to the edges of the mat. And heels are tucked in at 45 degrees. We'll sweep our arms up, creating a star. And then bending the elbows into a goalpost, bending the knees, coming down for goddess. And then back up again. Stretching and sending our arms and legs out. And then back down again. Goddess. And then stretching back up into star. And one last time, coming down with control, with intention. And then back up again. Lowering our arms to shoulder height. We pivot our feet to the left. Come into warrior two. Get our legs all lined up, knee over ankle. Be able to see the big toe, back foot nice and snug in the mat. Chest open to the side. And then turning to face our little fingers. And then we'll send the fingers up to the sky for a reverse warrior, a peaceful warrior. And then back down to warrior two. And then we'll straighten our front leg out. Reach our left fingertips forward and send them down, coming into triangle pose. Sending our gaze up to our right hand. And then back to warrior two. And then bringing the left arm to the left thigh. We'll send the right hand up to the sky. Again, sending our gaze up to the right hand for extended side angle. And we'll bring our right hand all the way down to the mat. Placing it on the mat and sending our left hand up to the sky. Or runner's lunge with a twist. And then we'll bring the left hand down, but we're going to place it next to the right hand, not on the other side of the foot. And we'll come into lizard pose. So lizard pose, you can either have your back leg up into the air or set the right leg down on the mat. And we'll just be here for a few moments. So our left knees just along the side of the shoulder. And you can, well, you can, again, either have your knee down or your leg up. You feel that stretching in your back of your thigh and the front of your thigh on both legs. And we'll bring the left hand on the other side of the foot now, back to runner's lunge. And we're going to bring that right foot up to meet the left foot, coming into forward fold. And then sweeping our hands all the way up to the sky. Palms come together, palms come to heart center. And we're going to go into tree pose. So it'll be your version. You can take the heel, place it on the ankle for one version. You can take your sole of your foot, placing it on the inner calf for another version. Or bring it all the way up to the thigh. Maybe for another version. Maybe what you intend to do just isn't doable today. So you come up with an alternative. And we'll just stay here, and you can have your hands at heart center. I'm actually just going to calf today. Or you can raise your hands up overhead. And then we'll release. My body's telling me what to do today. So we'll do that all on the other side. So we're going to have our mindful placement of our feet. So we'll take the left leg up, bring it back, roll it down so that the foot's firmly planted on the mat, bending the front knee. And then we'll come back to mountain pose. And then we'll lift the left leg again, set it back just a little bit further, rolling it down till it's firmly planted in the front knees bent. And then back to mountain. And this time we're going to send it as far back as we can so that we can come into that wide-legged stance. And look around. And sweeping our hands up to star, creating star. And then bringing our elbows down and bending our knees down, coming into goddess. And then back up to star. Really stretching out, coming back down for goddess. And one last time, stretching up to the sky. And back down for goddess. And back up to star. And lowering our arms to shoulder height. Pivoting our feet. Coming into warrior two on the other side. Check in on our alignment here. And then with our eyes on our right fingertips, we're going to send those fingertips up to the sky for a peaceful warrior. And then bringing them back down, back to warrior two. And we'll straighten out that front leg. Send our right fingertips forward and then down for triangle pose. And then back up again, back to warrior two. And then bringing our right arm to our right thigh, sending the left hand up to the sky, extended side angle. And then we'll bring the left hand down, planting on the mat, and then sending the right hand up to the sky. And then we'll bring the right hand back down, and we're going to bring it down and place it next to the other hand. So it's on the inside of the foot, coming into lizard pose. You can either keep your back leg up or set the knee down on the mat, whichever you prefer. And just feeling that stretch in both legs. And then we'll bring the right hand around the foot to frame the foot, coming into runner's lunge. And bring the left foot up to meet the right foot. And then sweep our hands all the way up overhead. Palms come together. And palms come to heart center. And we'll go into tree pose. Your version, or the version your body's telling you today, in my case. We'll try thigh part first. My drishti is looking out the window at a lilac that's just starting to open up. So half of it's open, half of it's closed still. Nice drishti. Lifting our hands up overhead. And then coming down, releasing. Well done. All right. Bringing our pinky toes to the edge, tucking our heels in. Bring our hands together at heart center and lower our hips down toward the mat, bringing our elbows inside of our knees. And then bringing our sit bones down to the mat. And we're going to roll back and do express at this point. And then tucking our knees to our chest, we'll just kind of rock back and forth, giving our lower back a nice massage. And some circles if you like. Alrighty. And then while we have our knees tucked to our chest, we're going to just tip over to, I'm going to tip over to the right side, keeping this knees to chest pose. I'm going to just tip over. And then I'm going to extend my hands out at shoulder height. And the upper hand, I'm going to make a rainbow sweep with it. So the left hand goes up, making this nice arc like a rainbow. And I'm keeping my eyes on it. When it lands on the other side, still continuing to gaze at it. And then we'll bring it back slowly, keeping my eyes on this beautiful rainbow that I'm creating. And just think about how rainbows, when they, after a thunderstorm, or maybe not even a thunderstorm, but a rain kind of cleans and clears out things. Like yesterday, it was just so crystal clear out, and you could see for miles and miles with that clarity that comes after a rainstorm. So again, we'll sweep our left hand up and over, creating this beautiful rainbow. And when it lands, you can bring it back slowly. And then we're going to come back to center and tuck our knees to our chest, create that little ball feeling. And then again, tip over to the other side. Extending our arms out at shoulder height, and we'll do rainbows from this side. And slowly lifting your right hand up and over. Envisioning all the colors of a rainbow. And then bringing it back slowly. And then one last time, we'll sweep it up, creating that beautiful rainbow. Giving the sky after the rain a nice clearness, crystal clearness. And I think that's one of the things I like about Saucha. There's the cleanliness, there's the purity, but then there's the clarity. We'll bring that hand back. And then we're going to tip back to on our back and send our feet down to the bottom of the mat, preparing for Shavasana. Sending your heels into each corner, snuggling your shoulders into the mat. You take a deep inhale and just exhale deeply through your mouth, letting your whole body just relax. And take a few inhales and exhales. And the poem I have for you today is by Danna Faulds, titled Joy for No Reason. I am filled with quiet joy for no reason save the fact that I am alive. The message I received is clear. There's no time to lose from loving, no place but here to offer kindness, no day but this to be my true, unfettered self and pass the flame from heart to heart. This is the only moment that exists, so simple, so exquisite, and so real.